Hard Rockology Show, Chris, Matt, and Jason back in with you. What I Am by Diamond Lane. That's from their latest EP, Sapphire. And on the phone joining us from the band is lead vocalist Brandon Baumann. Brandon, welcome to the Hard Rockology Show.
Thank you for having me, gentlemen. It is a pleasure to be here.
So you got a new EP out called Sapphire. So tell us a little bit about that and the response from the fans so far.
Well, you know, it's really funny because you call it an EP, but to me, I consider it an album. When people think EP, they think, oh, this is a foreshadowing to a larger event. But to me, these songs were written at the same time. They belong together. This is just a 5-song album, 17 minutes of kicking your ass. The response has been overwhelmingly positive. It was a great next step for us in the band. And you know what? We're really excited just to keep this train rolling right along.
All right, so you go ahead and release this EP, and I know you guys have already done a couple of videos for the EP, Sapphire and Hey Hell Yeah. So why don't you go ahead and talk about a little bit about those videos, Sapphire more particularly, because when I first heard that song, I thought it was kind of like maybe more towards a stripper, but after seeing that video, I got to think, is it like a possessed stripper, or what exactly was going on in that video?
You know, it's funny. This was our first foray into doing music videos. It's something we always talked about, but we were always late on the gun. We would release an album and then go, hey, guys, we should do a video. But by the time that would come together, it's way past and it'd be all for naught. So when we started recording this album, we knew that we wanted to do several videos. So we actually locked in and did 3. One hasn't been released yet. It's coming out in a couple of weeks. But doing the title track, Sapphire, seemed the right way to go. When we teamed up with this director, Alex Henderson, he had a vision, he had an idea, he got inspired by this song. So it was our first venture into this, so to speak. We're not music video directors. We're not video guys. So we kind of let him take the reins and put his interpretation on it, and it really came out strong. So I'm pleased with that. And from there, we rolled into the follow-up with Hey Hell Yeah, that's the summer party anthem. We had a damn good time filming that video. And I'm glad they captured the footage because some members of the band might not even remember doing it.
Yeah, I was going to sit there. I was going to sit there and ask you, what the hell was Ray doing in the spa? I mean, I'm watching that video, and you guys are all partying. You guys got the women all over the place. You're drinking and all that, and he's hanging out in a half-empty spa. So what the hell happened in that spa?
You know what? If I could only show you the B-roll footage of what we had to cut. There was so much good stuff, but, you know, you got to shave it down to the 3.5 minutes that is the song. So hopefully we can maybe do a part 2 so you can see all the behind-the-scenes stuff. Oh, man. It's all about the hot tub. That's all I'm saying.
Now, having had a chance, I mean, I've actually followed you guys going all the way back to 2005 with your Cut to the Chase album, and then, of course, you released an EP in 2008, and then, of course, in 2011, another long play, World Without Heroes. But then when I came to Sapphire, I mean, it just seems like you guys put it all out there on this, I guess, album, if you want to call it an album. And just the opening track, Sapphire, in and of itself, is probably one of the, I mean, it's one of the catchiest, hard-driving songs I've heard in a while. I mean, I heard it, and it's like one of those tracks where you could actually go back and keep playing it over and over again. I mean, so what was the process like going ahead and doing this Sapphire album? Because you guys pretty much recorded, mixed, and did everything in 13 days.
Yeah, you know, and that was a challenge that we wanted to do because when we did Worlds Without Heroes, I don't want to say it was a rebranding process, but that was the first pivotal move for us to make since we relocated to Los Angeles from the Bay Area. So it was time to kind of spread the wings a little bit. And we really took our time with World Without Heroes. I think we did something like 50 demos, shaved it down to the 10 that fit the best together, and that was that. With Sapphire, we really wanted to challenge ourselves to kind of, you know what, guys, we got the juice, we got the riffs, we got a lot of great ideas. Let's bang this shit out. Let's have a good time. And we did. And I'm glad that it's being received. I'm glad you really enjoyed the song, and it's one of those that you can just continue to repeat. So it was exciting to see it all come together, and I'm glad it did so in such a short time because I think you really captured the essence as opposed to recombing, rebrushing, re-editing, repolishing, because at the end of the day, could it be better? Maybe. It could be different? Always. So that's the challenge. This was excellent. We had a great time. Now we move forward.
Yeah, I mean, I will say this. Like I said, you did it in 13 days, and the energy is in those 5 songs. So whatever you guys did for those 13 days, I know you guys are working on some demos, planning on releasing a new album hopefully soon. I'm just hoping that you guys bring that same energy that you brought to those 5 tracks on the Sapphire EP, because it's just phenomenal the way it sounds.
Well, thanks. I appreciate that. And that's one of the things we're focusing on for the next record. The idea is to have something out before the end of the year, probably Christmas time. We're starting the demo process currently, kind of honing the focus on where we want to go with this release, as opposed to having a few things spread across the board. I think with this next one, we're going to have a concurrent theme, so we can hone the focus and really deliver top-notch product. So I'm very excited about this next release. And you know what? As always, being in the studio, that's when the juices are flowing, the magic happens. That's one of my favorite places to be.
So like we were just talking about the EP or album, as you call it, 5 songs. I mean, would it be like safe to say that maybe we'll just put out another 5 songs a little bit down the road, like a lot of other bands are doing right now? Skid Row comes to mind. They just released their latest record with 6 songs on it. They're going to put 6 more out and then 6 more out. Is that like an option that you guys thought about, or you really just think you're going to go back into the studio and make another full-length record?
You know, you never know what can happen once you sink your teeth and really get into the process, but I will say it was a conscious decision to make Sapphire 5 songs, and with this next release, I could definitely see us doing something like that again. The reason being, the world that we live in now, people are only going to gravitate towards and buy the songs that they like anyway. So instead of us spending 12, 16 months writing, recording, preparing, and releasing an album, we can be much more efficient and quick on the release if we just make it a 5 or 6 song effort. And that way, I think we're upping our productivity. We're giving the fans more songs to enjoy, and you're seeing a more rapid growth and development of the band, because every time you step into the studio, you apply everything you learned from the last time and put it towards a current application. And that's really where it's at. To continue to grow and challenge yourself, write better songs, keep kicking more ass, get more entertaining, and digging deeper within yourselves to deliver those quality goods that people want to hear.
Now, one of the things I want to ask you, because I know Jarrett Reese is the only remaining member from the band, along with yourself, when you guys moved down here from up in the San Francisco area. So can you tell us a little bit more about the guys in the band and I guess your relationship with Jarrett and what the process has been like for you guys? I mean, you guys go all the way back to 2005, so clearly, what was the scene like up there, up north, and what was the reason why you guys came down to L.A.?
Well, 2005 was when we released Cut to the Chase, but maybe it's seldom known. Jarrett and I, we first started Diamond Lane in 2002, so we've been committed to this for over a decade. And in those years leading up to the Cut to the Chase release, we probably did, 10 different demos, released them, kind of figuring out what we are, what we represent, what we believe in. And so when we released Cut to the Chase, it was well received for what it was at the time. And we continued to grow in the Bay Area, playing shows, packing them in, and we kept kind of climbing up. That's when we released Save This City with Bite the Bullet and those cornerstones on there. And we felt like we reached a plateau in the Bay Area because it was Jarrett, myself, and we had 2 different drummers over that duration. And we kind of looked at ourselves and had an honest, hard take and said, you know what? It's time to spread the wings. We need to get down to L.A. We need to expand the band, get a second guitar player, get a full-time bassist, and really take this to where it deserves to go. So we made that decision shortly after releasing Save This City. Beginning in 2009, January 1st, boom, living down in Hollywood. And that's kind of when we hooked up with Ray. He's been in the band the 3rd longest, so to speak. He's been with Diamond Lane since 2009, since the pre-World Without Heroes era when we were sculpting those ideas. Frankie Lindia, the other guitar shredder, I mean, the kid's phenomenal. He came in at the beginning of last year, and Zach St. John's holding it down on the drums. So we really have a solid package now, and it's just time to move forward and continue to develop that, which was what was so exciting about doing Sapphire, because that was the first time, hey, we got a complete band. So now let's harness that energy and drive it home.
And that was one of the things I was going to say that I noticed, because you could definitely see the progression from what you guys were doing up north, and then through the years. And like I said, Sapphire, it's just like leaps and bounds. You guys are definitely going in the right direction.
Next level, right?
It's like next level. That's the way I'm looking at it. I think you guys have a core group of people that are just really clicking. So I'm really glad to see that you guys are going back.
Got all the pieces of the puzzle together now.
All the pieces are in the puzzle right now. So
it fits, and when it feels good, you got to ride that roller coaster into the sunset. And that's what's so exciting about this next release, because we're never going to make the same record twice. Save the City is unlike Cut to the Chase, just like Worlds Without Heroes is unlike Sapphire. Sure, there's those common themes and elements that tie it together because it's, the same main voices, so to speak. But with this new release, I'm just excited to keep pushing the envelope and curious to see what we come up with.
Now, if people haven't had a chance to see you and they're going out to see you guys play, what can people expect to see you guys do up there on stage? Because everything I've heard, I haven't had a chance to see you. We're going to be seeing you a little bit later on this month, but I want you to tell the fans out there, what can they expect if they go see Diamond Lane?
A live band is what we are. Sure, the records, listen to them, party to them, great, but the live show, that's where we find the connection. We feed off the fuel and the energy and the fire from the crowd, and we throw one hell of a party. That's it. You're not just coming to see a band, a couple of guys staring at the sneakers. To hell with that. This is full-blown champagne raining from the chandeliers, beer bongs on stage. It's just pure pandemonium. Everything you could want in a little sliver of escapism. Because just like us, just like everybody else, we're all blue-collar, hard-working, grinding day in, day out, sun up to sundown. So it's very important as a cornerstone to have an outlet for access, to forget about all that bullshit and just enjoy yourself. Lose yourself in the evening and have a damn good time. That is what a live Diamond Lane show is, guaranteed every single time. That is what we live for. And that's exactly what you can expect on August 23rd. It's going to be packed wall to wall. Guaranteed. 10 o'clock when Diamond Lane hits the stage, that curtain goes up, the energy will be peaked. And I'm very excited for you gentlemen to come and check that out.
I want to go back a couple of years from your the full-length record you did, World Without Heroes. The Fox Network picked up a lot of songs to play at sporting events. Tell us a little bit about that.
They did. We've actually teamed up with an artist development agency, Kukazi. They're based out of Beverly Hills. Michael Zildjian, Kelly Klatsman, really solid dudes who kind of believe in the bigger vision for artists and exposing those opportunities. So we were able to get hooked up with Janine Kerr and everybody at Fox, who really took a liking to Diamond Lane. It was a pleasure for us to be able to turn on the Clippers game. And, oh, my goodness, they're promoting the next game with our song. NHL, NASCAR, UFC, NFL. It's been a real treat to see our music used in that fashion, because sports is all about competition. It's all about getting fired up, really bringing it up and over the top. So if people can associate our music with getting fired up, that's all very good stuff, and it was truly a pleasure and a treat for us to see our music used in that capacity.
Yeah, that's got to be kind of cool. Like you're at a Clipper game or any kind of sporting event, all of a sudden, hey, that's my band's song. Check it out. And then, a lot of people are going to be going, hey, I love that song that they were playing there, and I got to find out who that is. So that's pretty cool. Anyway, some of your favorite bands growing up, and what was that one moment, Brandon, that you knew that this is what I want to do, sing and write music?
Well, I grew up in Seattle, and, so obviously I was immersed in the grunge scene. I had 5 older brothers, so my diet growing up was Kiss, Motley Crue, Metallica, the Eagles. So that was always a part of my life, but being involved in that Seattle scene, just opening up the newspaper and seeing articles about Alice in Chains and Nirvana and Soundgarden, it made an impression on me at a very young age, but I think that one pivotal cornerstone, I was 8 years old. My best friend's uncle was the drummer in a really big local band at the time called Sunny Day Real Estate. I remember going to one of their shows at DV8 in downtown Seattle with my buddy Chris and his mom. We had the VIP, the backstage, of course, because, it's his uncle. And just seeing all those people there for them. I mean, the place there had to be 1,000 people there. And the energy is just ecstatic. And it was really something special seeing them perform. But what really did it for me was going backstage after the show, seeing William, and all of his knuckles were busted up and bloody because he was a drummer. And just the look on his face, you could feel the sweat dripping off the walls. I just knew, man, this is the calling. I need to be doing this. And from then on, it was just kind of tunnel vision. Hey, older brother, Barry, can you teach me how to play the guitar? Here we go. Brent, can I borrow some of these Kiss records? And it was just full steam ahead from there.
That's pretty cool. That's a cool story. Okay, I got a quick little game for you, Brandon, a little word association. So I'm just going to name off a couple of things and just give me your thoughts on them real quick, all right?
Are we talking, you say it, I give you the first word that pops into my head kind of deal?
Yeah, I'm just going to give you like a couple of, I got like 6 of them here, and just give me a quick thought on it, okay? We'll start right now.
Great.
Rolling Stone magazine.
Rolling Stone magazine. Well, they really shit the bed putting the Boston Bomber on the cover. Count me out.
Okay. Pay to play?
I think it's bullshit. It's corrupt. It's taking advantage of younger bands who don't know any better. Unfortunately, in Hollywood, you kind of have to do it to get your bearings, but once you prove your stock value, then you can kind of put up the middle finger and command a little respect, only if you're delivering the goods.
Metallica.
Greatest metal band of all time. Current heavy metal champions. Those guys are untouchable. I don't care what people say. Oh, Death Magnetic, it wasn't this or that, or Saint Anger. It's like, look, guys, all you want them to do is repeat Master of Puppets over and over and over. I don't think that's the way to go. I think the Black Album is one of the greatest records of all time. I mean, over 10 million selling, came out of that pivotal point in the early 90s. That is my salute. Those guys are my top of the pops. Love Metallica.
Can't go wrong selling 10 million copies. Okay,
No.
a couple of more.
Way.
A couple of more here. Facebook.
Facebook. You know, I feel like it's starting to take the curve of the MySpace. At first, it was really valuable as a resource to get in touch with people and let them know what's going on, but now it's becoming so convoluted, it's really tough to even penetrate and get a sliver of the traction in reflection to your likes or fans or friends. Most people don't even see your posts unless you're paying for them. So I think they might be headed on the downward curve. I'm not the tech guy. All I know is that I saw the same shit happen with MySpace. It seems like it's happening with Facebook, so you got to wonder what's next.
Okay, we got 4 more. Reverb Nation.
Reverb Nation, I think it's a valuable tool. I think Reverb Nation is kind of a combination of Sonic Bids, Facebook, MySpace, all wrapped into one. It's a good access point. I don't know if the rankings have any validity, but you know what? It's another medium for people to discover you, listen to your music, look at your pictures, your videos, find out your tour dates. So it is a valuable resource that every musician should be taking advantage of. I mean, obviously, it's a nightmare if you're juggling all those things by yourself, but it's mandatory. So you either sign up for it or you're not cut out for it.
David Lee Roth.
David Lee Roth, one of the most entertaining frontmen of all time. Are you kidding me? That guy, what a personality. I had the fortune to see him, I think it was in 2008, when they reunited for the first time. That was my only time seeing David Lee Roth. Other than that, I've only heard the stories from my brothers when they saw him in his prime, read his books, the whole deal. But that guy is a character. I would love to have a conversation with him.
All right, we got 2 more for you. Aerosmith's Night in the Ruts.
You know what? Aerosmith is Aerosmith. I don't think that they can do wrong. Yeah, they had those years with Jimmy Crespo, but that still wasn't horrible. I think as long as you got the main ingredients, those guys are going to keep going. Me personally, I like the 80s, 90s Aerosmith better than the 70s. Not to say that they didn't have classic, amazing songs in the 70s, but I feel like they really came into their own and hit their peak, especially for what was going on at that time in the music world. I mean, Lovin' an Elevator, that is a jam right there.
Yeah, Jamie's got a gun, too.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. They really just had a great representation of what was going on at the time. And then, funny enough, they were all, quote-unquote, sober when all that happened. So, you know, who knows? But anyway, so I said it's Aerosmith. Steven Tyler's a legend. We actually got to hang out with him a couple of months ago at the Viper Room. He was ironically in there. he's a total fucking gem, dude. What a nice guy.
Yeah, I saw some pictures. Another friend of ours was there, and he took a picture with him. So, yeah, we did see that. It's such a small place, but, you know, who knows who's going to show up. And then we got one last one for you, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Well, you know what? I think it's obviously the suits deciding. I think as far as fans' perspective and people, it's kind of given and understood. I mean, how is Kiss not in there? You know, things of that nature. It's hard to really validate things like that in Grammys because you have these committees, and who knows if these people are jaded or outdated, but they're making these selections as opposed to letting the public decide and the fans and the people who have really catapulted these bands to even be eligible for something of the great stature of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I would personally love to visit one day. But, you know, as far as the validity and the future and how all that holds, I know some bands care for it, some bands don't. But at the end of the day, if there's an institution in place that recognizes achievements from bands, then that's a beautiful thing because all it is just spreading the knowledge and the word.
All right. Thanks a lot for playing the Hard Rockology Word Association. This will be our final question, and then we'll have you introduce one of the songs from your latest EP, Sapphire, Spinal Tap Moment.
Wait, are you talking about when our first, second, or third drummer just totally combust?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Just make the story good. We're writing a book here.
Look, I think everybody has a Spinal Tap story, and I'll shoot it to you straight. So this is probably 2008. This is one of our last shows in the Bay Area. We're doing a big show for 107.7 The Bone. I think it was up at Shoreline, might have been Fillmore, I can't be certain. But our drummer, he's up on this riser, and we're playing the song, and I see this panicked look on his face, and he's mouthing something to me. You know, I'm just singing and playing, kind of half paying attention to him as long as he's keeping the time. I mean, you know, what's the difference to me, right?
Yeah.
Well, next thing you know, I turn around, and the back two legs of the drum riser totally collapse, and his whole drum kit starts sliding off the back as he's playing. And, you know, within 30 seconds, it's in total shambles. We got to break into a sweet guitar solo while we re-rig the kit. But, you know, this shit only happens when you least expect it. You can't make it up. It's just nature of the beast, man. Like Dimebag Darrell says, there's the highs and lows of rock and roll, but that's just the way it goes, so you got to roll with it.
All right, Brandon, that is a pretty funny story. There's no video of that, is there?
Oh, God, I hope not.
Another question I got to ask you, man. What's the reason behind the name Diamond Lane?
You know, to be honest with you, when you first come up with a name, you're trying to figure it out. You're throwing shit against the wall, seeing what sticks, seeing what doesn't. But to be honest with you, man, we figured no stop signs, fuck the speed limit, nobody likes sitting in traffic. Let's just hit the gas and have a good time. Diamond Lane.
All right, man.
That's like perfect.
Awesome,
it's like the perfect explanation. I couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah, that's good.
Well, hey, guess what? If you did say it better, I was just going to steal what you said and start using it instead.
I can't do it as good as you. All right, well, Matt and I want to thank you for coming on the Hard Rockology Show.
Yeah, is there any way, or if you want the fans to get a hold of you guys, what's the best way of people getting in contact with Diamond Lane and finding out what's going on with the band?
We got DiamondLaneRocks.com, Twitter, Facebook /Diamond Lane. It's official Diamond Lane on Reverb Nation, Diamond Lane videos on YouTube. We're on every damn social media you could ever ask for. So if you Google it, you want to get in touch, shoot us an email. We're nice cats. We'd love to toast you, have a beer with you, throw a barbecue party. And we are just like our fans. I am them and they are us. We are all one and the same. So find us online, check out a tune, come to a show. It's going to be one hell of a time, this, I can guarantee it.
All right, and once again, you got to show up at the Viper Room, so why don't you go ahead and let the fans out there know what day that's going to be, and
the Vegas show, too.
And the Vegas show as well, too.
Coming up, we got Friday, August 23rd at the Viper Room in West Hollywood. That is going to be packed wall to wall. We got Legal Tender, Fire the Animal, Future Villains, and Dirty Paradise from Vegas coming out for this show. I guarantee a sellout. I guarantee a damn good time, and I guarantee drinks at the Rainbow 1:45. The week after, Diamond Lane's first appearance in the City of Sin, Las Vegas. We're playing at Counts Vamp Friday, August 30th with Dirty Paradise. who was voted the #1 hard rock band in Las Vegas, as well as our Brothers Feature Villains from down here in L.A. We're going to schlep it out there and burn that city to the damn ground.
All right, Brandon, like we do every week, why don't you go ahead and take us out of this segment and introduce a track off your latest EP, Sapphire.
I want to thank you guys endlessly for having me on the show, believing in rock and roll, and supporting Diamond Lane. So everybody at home, crank up your stereos, grab an ice cold brew out of the fridge, crack it open. This is Haymaker from Diamond Lane.